Okay. Let's just jump right into this
Yes,
episode.
ma'am.
Just close that off. Okay, so tonight's episode is titled Empowering Our Young Girls. As always, my website is mysafeplace.org. My social medias, A2Books Inc., My Safe Place with Tati. Tonight's topic is we will be highlighting this wonderful organization, B.R.A.I.D.S and CO. As you can see, the founder of it is Ms. Latasha King, and she is here. The song of the episode is I Believe by Fantasia. And you guys know I always do a quote of the episode, but Miss Latasha is the queen of affirmations and empowering our young girls. So instead of a quote, we are doing an affirmation, which came from her herself. I have everything within me to reach the success I desire. Right? So we're going to just jump right in. So tonight, of course, Miss Latasha King, the founder of B.R.A.I.D.S and CO. And B.R.A.I.D.S is not braiding your hair. B.R.A.I.D.S is an acronym for beautiful, radiant, amazing, independent, determination, and strength. Very powerful, powerful words. And this is her shirt right here. Get you one. You got to get you one. All right, so we're just gonna get straight into it because we have a lot of talking about. It's a lot of positivity that I want to get across. So if you do have a sister, you have a daughter, you have a niece, anybody of the ages 5 to 21, anybody who loves to just empower our young girls, tag them in this so they can join into this live as well. So first, Miss Latasha, can you just tell us some about yourself and what inspired B.R.A.I.D.S and Co?
Hello, my beautiful queens. I hope everyone is having a great night. What can I tell you about me? Let's see. I'm a mom of 4, 3 girls and a boy. I work for a big company, Medicare company, I won't say, but I work full time. I have a full-time job. I have my bachelor's degree for B.R.A.I.D Women's College out in Long Meadow, Massachusetts. I have a bachelor's degree in business. My major was in human resources. My minor is in child psychology. Don't ask me how all those go together. but, but it all works and it all, it brings me,
Right.
it brought me right
It ties it all together. Don't worry. It ties together.
I grew up in a not so normal, traditional way, I would say. I was raised by my godmother. And her husband, and my god brothers and sisters, who is my family. That's my brother and my sister. For some people who don't know, the Jacksons in Middletown, they raised me. Miss Lula Jackson, that's my godmother. That's my life. That's my mommy. Everything you see of me is because of her.
Right.
So that's me. B.R.A.I.D.S came as a assignment for school. So when you B.R.A.I.D Women's College is specifically for women trying to get their degree, right? And then they have this WELL program that is it's a WELL program, and it stands for, I had to write it down, we empower learners and leaders. And throughout your 4 years, you're going to take a course, part of that program. And what it does is kind of give you the tools that you need to be a leader, whether you have your own business or you're working in your current role. Say you're a secretary, but then you want to be the head of HR. Like, that's a leadership role. And that's kind of what the program teaches you. So of course I have to take this program, and they're applying all this stuff, how to be a leader, how to lead by example. What do you need? How do you talk? How do you type a letter? How do you reach out for services and things like that, so forth. So the very last part of that course is a social justice project. And I can't tell you how many women was in the program, but I know for me, I knew I wanted to step outside the box. I knew I had struggled due to life happening while I was in college, and health
Right.
issues and things like that. And I knew I had to make this count because my grades weren't that great, but I kept pushing, and that's what mattered. So everyone else in the class was like, oh, they're going to work on, something. I think one lady changed the way her, the break room in her office looked. I think another lady did something for pets, getting food to pet shelters. And me, I was like, I have no idea what I'm going to do because it's 6 weeks. You have
Right.
6 weeks to produce something and
Right.
present it. So
Right. So it has to be
it
good.
had to be great because I'm like, I can't work
Right.
that fast. Like 6 weeks. I mean, because all my courses was hybrid. I changed classes every 6 weeks, and I did that for 4 years. So one day, now mind you, I have 3 daughters and a son, and my oldest is now 22, my middle is 17, my youngest is 13. So my youngest girl. So
Looking
you
good.
see the age gap, right? On a
Mm-hmm.
particular day, they were all going through different phases in their life.
Right.
And my youngest daughter, I was braiding her hair that day. And she was telling me how,
Mm-hmm.
she doesn't like to wear her real hair because people don't understand it. And the school she go to, they wouldn't have understood. So I'm braiding her
Right.
hair, hence braiding her hair.
Right.
And I said, oh my gosh, I just figured out what I was gonna do for this project, and
Right.
I've been trying to find that same notebook, and I cannot find that notebook anywhere. But I literally spelled out braids and came up with
Right.
these affirmations like that, right?
Right. Right.
So,
And it's
so
powerful.
I end up so.
That was powerful. Right off the
So
spot.
I braided her hair and I finished it. And that night I went back to the book and I said, I think I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start a girls group. So I reached out to my bestie, who's been my best friend since we were 4 years old. Because that's how old you have to be to go to the preschool that we used to go to when we lived in the projects we was little. That's how I
Right.
know it's been since we were 4. Um,
Right.
and her name is Tawanda White, and she owns Creations by My Besties. It's a decor business for birthday parties, and she does customizations as well. And I texted her and I said, what do you think about this? And she was like, what? I was like, I need to present for school. So I reached out to her and I
Mm-hmm.
reached out to another young lady by the name of Latoya Dickerson. And they was like, okay, we'll present it. So I got a place to present it. I had appetizers. Tawanda did my t-shirts, my book bag, my little book bags for them, water bottles. And I presented to them, and I had to write this down because I had to look back at my pictures. December 7th, 2019 is when I presented it to them. And at that
Mm-hmm.
time, there were 7 girls and just those 2 moms in that meeting. And it took about an hour.
Oh wow.
I talked about what I would do. I talked about some of the topics we would cover. And I told them what it meant to be a part of it. Both of them told me that I should do it. I was like, well, I only need it for
Right.
school. I'm just seeing what my professors say. And you know me, like not really
Right.
wanting to do it.
Right. Because like this is just something I didn't
That's
even get a
it.
grade for.
That's all it
So
was. And so
right.
when I typed it all up and I sent it up to my professor, and I was like, thank you, God. Like, I think I got it in like 2 days in time, 2 days earlier. And she called me. She didn't email me. She called me and she said, first of all, you passed. I said, okay.
Right.
She said, second of all,
Mm-hmm.
I want you to keep doing it. I said, really? She said, yes. And I'm going to check to
Mm.
make sure that you do. She said, because what you just done is done something that needs to be done, that needs to continue. These young girls need this. Your daughters need it because that's where it started from. Latavia, Lyric, and
Right.
Trejor. Those are my daughters' names. And they're the reason that B.R.A.I.D.S started. And when she
Right.
said that to me, I was like, okay, so now what do I do? It's
Right.
2023. We have 28 girls. I have about 7
Mm-hmm.
volunteers. I am a non-for-profit.
Yes.
I am ecstatic.
Mm-hmm.
I took some time off because life was
Right.
happening. And
Of
I,
course.
I knew I couldn't be of an example if I was going through my own stuff. And even with that year off,
Right.
these women stand behind me. They support me.
Right.
They encourage me. They motivate me. And I can honestly say there's a quote that says, if your dreams aren't big, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough. And I think Oprah said it.
Big enough.
And
Yes.
every time I
Mm-hmm.
start working on this, my stomach start hurting. And it's not because I can't do it, but because
Mm-hmm.
I'm so empowered by empowering younger
Right.
girls. And it's just
Yes.
one of the best things I've done outside being an amazing mother, a better friend, and
Right. Of
you
course.
know, a superwoman.
Right.
You know, but
Right.
this is something that I know is going to be around for a very long time because
Yes.
number one is a non-for-profit. I did not set out to make money for this, and I'm going to tell you why. Being a
Okay.
mother, especially when you're doing it by yourself, your kids is going to want to attend activities, right? You're
Mm-hmm.
not always going to have the money for it. I know my
Right.
daughters, there were times they wanted to do, you know, Girl Scouts, or, you know, my oldest daughter, I needed somewhere for her to go for camp. And there was a Girl Scout camp out in Bristol, I believe it was. And I called them and asked them, can I at least have some scholarship money so that she can go for 2 weeks? And
Right.
the first thing they asked me, well, does she sell cookies? And I said, well, no, but I bought some off, you know,
Right.
the girls were selling them.
Right. Or for choosing over there, so help me out. I'm helping y'all to help
And the lady
me.
started laughing and she said, it's okay, we'll sponsor this much, but you have to pay this much. And I said, okay. And she was able to go to camp for 2 weeks. But then I was like, so what am I going to do? I don't ever want to turn
Right.
away a mother for a need that we need in our community because she don't have the money.
Right.
And that's why I don't charge.
Right.
And that is
So,
why, even though someone that I know is watching is going to say, well, you need to be charging. And me and her had this conversation. It's something that I'll work out later, even if it's by the income,
mm-hmm.
even if it's something. Um,
Right. Right.
and I said, I just don't want to. This is a need. It's a need. And if
Right.
anybody knows,
It's something.
like I said, I'm a
Right.
non-for-profit. I can apply for grants. I can apply, you know, for free money. Help me get that so I can continue. I'm going to do it anyway because my family don't,
Right.
I don't put my family on the bottom of the list to support my brand. My family come first, my
Right.
kids come first, my bills come first, and I take whatever I have left and I apply it to that.
And then that's the
And
point.
not
Right.
only that, the
Right.
moms, the daughters, the girls that come, their mothers will always ask me, Tasha, what do you need? If I
Right.
know I'm having something and I'm hosting, they know I serve food for them to eat. I supply all the activities. And if I tell them what I need, there's not a mother yet that told me no. So
Right.
I have many women behind me, the side of me, in front of me, and we're doing this all together. And I love each and every
Right.
one of them for that because they understand the vision. They understand
Right.
my compassion for it. And they know I'm not trying to make money for something that we need. These girls need this. Just like we meet
Right.
up with our girls once a month to, you know, have some wine and
They
talk.
need that too.
These young girls need a place to do that too because they're young and they're growing up.
Right.
And I remember having it when I was younger, but I don't remember learning everything I know now until I got older and life was
Right.
happening.
Right.
Why wait for
Right.
that?
Right. We could teach them so young, and I especially when I went to the tea party, it was a lot of girls I was engaging, and like the older ones was pouring into the younger one, like, and I just love that you did like the affirmation section. So like Araya, I told you she kept on reading yours. I don't know what it was about your affirmation, but she kept on reading it, and you're like she kept on going. But it was like other young girls, you're beautiful. And she's like, oh mommy,
Mm-hmm.
they love my hair, and my daughter, and she's like, oh I love her hair. Like my daughter is that kind of person. So that group, I love that you started something like that, and of course you're not charging for something like that. And especially like it's just more powerful, it's more meaningful. So it's like people at school they get bullied, so they're like, no, but I go to B.R.A.I.D, so I know somebody likes me there, or whatever
Yes.
case may be. So it was like, and it's free. Like I
Right.
can't wait to get there, and that's what your organization is. Like you just did
Yes.
Lake Compound trip, and that was a beautiful turnout. Like everybody getting together, going on rides, and of course free of charge for the kids. And some people, you never know. That's probably their first time at an amusement park, and they're just
Exactly.
grateful for it.
And that's the
You know,
way,
so
and,
it's
I looked
definitely
at it.
good.
It's something to do to get them out the house, to get them, in a different environment and let them be kids. Don't get me wrong. Every session that I have, we're learning something, but I also want them to have fun too. So the activities will include,
Right.
okay, so we're going to learn about this first, and then we'll do something else. And that's mainly like what I try to do. I try to be a positive role model, and then the people, the mothers that help and support me, the same way. Just be positive in these eyes. I mean, we could be ratchet elsewhere, but just don't be ratchet in here,
Right.
because we're trying to do.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I listen. Sometimes they be calling out the ratchetness, but I be like, hold on, give me a minute. But at the end of the day, if we want them to be well respected, beautiful women in our community, we have to demonstrate that. And I believe that I am doing the best that I can 99.9% of the time, because
Yeah.
that's what I want to be remembered for. That's what I want to be acknowledged for. People going to remember all the bad you do. I'm going to
Of
throw
course,
in
they
a
never gonna
little
remember
bit
the
of
good, but these younger
the
ones.
good that I do, because
Mm-hmm.
you're going to remember me. Whether you
Right.
see a post, whether
Yeah.
you make a donation, whether you see my shirt, you're going to say, yeah, I remember her. And that's what's important. And that's
Right.
why this brand is so important. And that's why I see it being around for a very long time.
Right. It is. It is. So going more into, you say you do workshops, right? So you do virtual and in-person and
Mm-hmm.
individual workshops. Can you share like a basic outline of how a workshop will go for the
So
day?
coming up, I have one on September 16th called I'm on My Period. And I'll give you a rundown of that, since that's my next one coming up. And I'm hoping people watching
Perfect.
that want to sign their daughters up, I can give a description. So pretty much on any in person, we come in, parents sign them in. I ask questions. Are they allergic to anything? Because we're having food. Is there anything that I should know about? Are they in a good mood? Whatever. The girls that come in, they will sit down, talk to other girls, see someone that they know.
Right.
I will have them sit down, go into a quick greeting. How y'all doing? Y'all good? And we straight today. And like, I get down to their
Right.
level. I don't use big words. I don't try to
Yeah.
sound like a teacher or a professor, because I feel like with kids, when you get
Mm-hmm.
down to their level, you
You
understand them
understand
and
more.
they're gonna
They
understand you.
more.
So
Yes.
and we do all that, and I'm like, okay, so for example, for my period, has everyone here had their period?
Mm-hmm.
How does it make you feel? do
Mm-hmm.
have you been to school and there was an issue with a teacher not letting you go to the bathroom? And I'm quite
Right.
positive that has happened, because that happened with one of mine.
Yes.
And how do you take care of yourself? Like, I'm gonna ask all those questions, because then I know which way to guide the
Right.
conversation, and where to apply the most where I need. So if one of the girls say, yes, my teacher won't let me go to the bathroom, and my stomach be hurting, and I'm already aggravated, and my mommy made me go to school today,
Mm-hmm.
and I just wanted to stay
Right.
home. And I'm like, okay, so this is how we're gonna do this. First we're gonna talk about how you're feeling, and then how you
Right.
can have the conversation with your mom and say, mommy,
Right.
I really don't feel good today. Now, I'm going to back up a little bit. As a woman, as a
Mm-hmm.
mother,
Mm-hmm.
we don't always feel our best when we are on our period, right?
Facts.
I
I hate
I can't.
it. Take
I
it.
remember real quick last month, my boss looked at me and she said, you not feeling well? I said, no. She said, you could go home. I said, okay. And I get my stuff.
Yeah. Because you know, we're here. You
Exactly.
know what I'm
She
going through
knew
right
what it
now.
was. And now think about it for a 12-year-old girl, not as
Mm-hmm.
confident as she want to be, knows she has to go to school, worried about people looking at her,
Feeling
feeling uncomfortable
uncomfortable.
because she already said she aggravated. She
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to go to school. What
Right.
can I do or say to help her feel better?
Right. Right. And that's a great type of conversation, because even if you feel uncomfortable and you feel like you don't want to go, it's like, okay, this is something that's gonna go with you for
Exactly.
the rest of your life. So this tool, I can help you maneuver, and then as you grow, it will be more, okay, I'm used to it. Just to know how to track your period. So okay, this week I know I could tell my teachers, okay, if you see me a little this, it's because of this, if they feel
Right.
comfortable
Right.
doing such. But it's you just have to be aware of
Right.
when it's coming. That's a perfect thing to how to
So
track
that's
your
part
period.
of one of the activities. I'm gonna teach. I have
Okay.
calendars printed out. I'm gonna teach them how to track it for a number of reasons.
Mhm.
Number one, if you're in school, you can have extra items in school, right?
Right.
Number two, you could tell your mommy, I don't feel good. Like I went to school every day last month. Can I miss a day? Now,
Right.
the
Right.
responsibility is when you go to school the following day, you need to get that missed work, and them grades need to
Yep.
stay where they were before you miss that day. And
Right.
I expect
Right.
that if for my daughters, yes, if they come to me and say, Mommy, I don't want to go to school, I don't feel good. Okay, fine. I'm gonna call you out, and you're going to
Mm-hmm.
get that work tomorrow when you go back. I haven't had an
Right.
issue with them doing it because I
Right.
understand. Lord knows I understand.
Yes.
And I'm
Mm-hmm.
not giving them a get out of jail free card. What I'm doing is I'm
Right.
allowing them to have a voice in
Yes.
their health, their situation. We don't
Yes.
want to go to work when we're
Yes.
aggravated because we know somebody say something to us. We're going to go from 0 to 100 real quick. These,
Yeah. PTO me. Call it out.
these,
Because I would know
exactly.
she gonna get
Like,
it today.
no, not today. Okay. Not today. And I think,
Yes.
in the workshop, I'm going to explain this to them, and I'm going to give them what they need. I'm going to give them a list of what they should have. You should have a heating pad. If your mom lets you take
Yeah.
pain medicine, ask her for it. Have the conversation with your mother. How many times a day you should be taking a shower? How many times you
Right.
should be changing yourself?
Mm-hmm.
How to properly clean yourself.
Right.
How to just be confident during those 5 to 7 days, because it's a
Mm-hmm.
scary thing to some who may not even
Yeah.
understand. And what does it mean to have a period? Now, I'm not going to go into the other stuff. I'm just going to
Right.
sum it up and say your body is cleaning.
Right. That's a good point, because that leads into the
Exactly.
next thing, right? So you just, because this one is about periods, and then but choose certain things that you want to talk about. So is there any like requested topics that parents have asked you to talk about, and then it's some like, no, I won't touch on that, but we're gonna leave that for mommy or
um
daddy?
I will not talk about sex, and I will not talk
Okay.
about boy-girl relationships, and boy-girl relationships, girl-girl relationships. And I'm gonna tell you why.
Okay.
Because I thought about this a couple months ago or what have you. That's because that leads into something that I don't want no parts of. Because I don't
Right.
want any girl to ever say, I went to B.R.A.I.D.S and Miss Tasha was talking about sex and I was curious and I did it. Her mother and father is
Right.
coming to me, and that's a
Right.
liability on me. I'm not having that
Right.
conversation. But I will say
Right.
this to every young girl. If I was 13 again, I
Mm-hmm.
would say love yourself enough to know
Mm-hmm.
that that part of you is sacred. And any
Right.
man, girlfriend, whatever, if they value
Mm-hmm.
you like you value yourself, and always value yourself more than anybody else will, they will wait.
Right.
That's what I
Yes.
would say to
Right.
13-year-old Tasha. Just wait. Just
That.
wait. And
That.
when you're ready to,
Yes.
and moms, when they're ready to have that conversation, and this is me too, don't yell and get upset, because now they're never going to come to you again with anything
They're
like
never
that.
ever gonna tell you.
Say, okay, hold
Right.
on.
Never. They're not gonna tell you
Let's
nothing.
let's let's come back to this. Mommy gonna be right back and take a a deep
Right.
breath, because guess what? They have feelings too, and they need to be heard. Just
Right.
like we want them to hear us. That's the conversation for a mom and a daughter, a boy and his father to have without
Right.
any outside influences. Because once that happens, you don't get that back. So
Right.
I would,
Because once you say that one time, that's what they can
that
remember.
one
That
time,
one time. You can say it a million
that
times
one
after
time,
that, but that one time
that
is gonna
one
stick in there.
time.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good
So
question. Do you do you have a
some
parent
of the moms
workshop?
that's on this call, on this video, know that I do a mommy's timeout. And I haven't had
Uh-huh.
one since last year. But and that's because just time.
Oh, they still on
Exactly.
duty and they need time
Um,
out. A year? They dying over there.
and I do have that. Eh, um, and what do is we come together and we talk. Just
Mhm.
on Monday
Right.
when we all came back from Lake Compounds, the kids was here at my house. The moms was here, and we talked for like an hour after the event was. I wasn't bothered. It felt good to
Right.
have a mommy chat. It
Right.
felt good to have a mommy chat, and it felt good to talk, and it felt good to just be.
Right.
And that's when we started talking about periods. And I said, okay, that's my next session. That's the next one. So
Right.
yes, mommy timeout
Right.
is coming back. I will have another one. I will post it. And I think my first one, I rented a hotel suite. We stayed, we played games, drink and stuff like that. Everybody didn't stay and they all went home, but they all had a good
Mm-hmm.
time. And then I had one after that was it was in October, I think last year or the year before, and it was breast cancer, and I shared my story about being a breast cancer survivor. Paint and sip. We had a good time. And again, is the opportunity to just be moms, to just be in that moment and not have our
Right.
kids and worried about it. Just in that moment. And yes, we are overdue, and I will schedule one soon.
Get to it.
Yeah.
Get to it. So just to piggyback off of, because you just said that you was talking to moms and like this topic comes to your brain. So have you ever just created a topic over like just a spare the moment, like, okay, bro, oh wow, I want to do this, and you just start teaching about it? Like as you go along, is there any topic that just randomly came to your head and you just taught like this is a good
Um,
topic?
there was one, yeah, about how to take care of their hair and being comfortable with it. I
Okay.
don't think um I really had a curriculum or anything planned for it, but it just came to, and I just pretty much said like, um be comfortable with your own hair. If you have
Right.
to get braids, be comfortable with it. If you have to get a weave, be
Right.
comfortable with it. But with your own hair, you have that for the rest of your life. So somewhere along the
Right.
lines, you're gonna have to know how to take care of it. You're gonna have to
Right.
embrace it and own it because it's yours and it's part of
Right.
you. And when you were made, you had this specific hair, you had this specific eye color, this skin color, this
Right.
body shape. That is all who you are because you are different and you're supposed to be that way.
Right.
Don't try to do anything that's going to change the way you look drastically where I see you tomorrow and I'm like, whoa, what did you do? Like,
Oh
no,
yeah.
be
Right.
accept it, accept your hair. And being
Right.
a cancer survivor, I did lose all my hair. I did. And
Right.
it was shocking, but at the same time, I wore weaves so much that wigs became
Mm-hmm.
a second thing,
Right.
that it didn't even
Right.
matter.
Because I met
So
you like that. Because I met you at Ada Book, and you had I'm like, yo, her hair is always
exactly.
popping, and it was always short, and it was on one side. I'm like, before I really, I'm gonna say I was hair literate, because I'm like, Riggs, I'm like, how she get the time to wake up every morning
No,
and change
it was a
her hairstyle?
wig, baby.
And it was good. And look good, and you dress cute. But that's like my first time. Like that's my first full-time job. So like when I see people, of my color there,
Yep.
and as an administration part, and you was killing it, I was like, oh yeah, nah, they can't touch her. They can't touch her. And then when I got pregnant, where I went, oh, go to Mr. Touch, surely will. They gave me that surely will. Go right there. So half my
Yes,
pregnancy I spent with
yes,
you.
in my office, and we was just doing. We was doing work. I was doing work, and we was chatting and just bonding and stuff, and not knowing that now
Right.
look where we are. Like Yep.
Right.
But to backtrack, that was one of the topics that I didn't have really a lot of plan for it, but I knew it had to be said. So now when you see
Right.
these girls, I can see where they're experimenting with their hair and they're loving it. They're getting locks, they're
Mm-hmm.
getting braids
Right.
and they're dyeing their hair. That's right. Be who you need to be for
Yes.
you. Don't impress
Right.
nobody else.
Right.
Love your
Right.
hair, love your eyes, love your skin, because it's only one you. And if you are different,
Right.
you're still beautiful. We're not all the same,
Right.
and we ain't meant to be the
Right.
same. You say
Yeah.
they got blonde braids?
Only people supposed to be the same is twins, identical twins. That's who's supposed to be meant to be the same. Other than that, you're your own person and you just
That's
love
right.
who you are. Which goes into the next question I have. You do individual workshops. Now you do
Mm-hmm.
team building exercises. So why is it important to teach our young girls how to pour into each
Look
other?
at us.
Right.
Look at us.
Right.
Because number one,
Yeah.
no matter how old you are, young you are, where you come from, you're gonna have a bad day. You're gonna
Mm-hmm.
wake up in the morning and you're not gonna want to push through. You're gonna have a little girl
Mm-hmm.
who's scared to go to school because she don't have no friends, or everybody is
Right.
making fun of her, or her clothes don't look like everybody else's. If there's another little girl that come over and sit next to her and say, "Here, would you
Mm-hmm.
like to share my snack? How's your day going?"
Right.
And then she engage in conversation, you just
Mm-hmm.
probably encouraged the little girl who didn't feel like she was gonna make it, and she might not even understand it at 6 or 7 years old. But at
Exactly.
20 and 21,
Mm-hmm.
we know what that looks like.
Oh,
At
it makes
40 and
a difference.
45, we know what that looks like. It's so important.
Right.
And that's why at every workshop, just about everyone that I have, I make them give each one of them a compliment. They don't like it
Right.
because it puts them in the spotlight. No, give her a compliment.
Mm-hmm.
Give her a compliment.
Right.
And if they don't do it, I give
Mm-hmm.
them both a compliment, and then they start smiling, start laughing. And I bet you
Right.
they
To
go
break the
home and they're
ice.
like, Dag, Miss Tasha says she loved me. Because I do. Love is priceless.
Mm-hmm.
Love has no color.
Mm-hmm.
Love don't cost us nothing.
Right.
Love doesn't make me any less if I love another person. That's
Right.
why it's important that we
And you
teach
want to
them
keep that
to
going.
pour into themselves, to pour into a friend, to pour into their mom, to pour into every person that you come across, because you
Mm-hmm.
are changing, and you are changing that person's life, and you are inspiring that person to keep going no matter what they got going on.
Right. Cause I'm 29 now, and before I'm like people, cause you go up, oh, you can't look at me a certain way, whatever. Like, but me, I had eye problems, so when I'm looking just to see, like, trying to focus. But then after they come, oh, that's a cute shirt now. So now it's like I just do it so really. Oh, you have beautiful eyes, you have beautiful hair. I like your shirt, I like your sneakers, and then it lightens the mood a little bit. Like, oh, thank you, I like this. So it's just like that's how you could innocently pour into one another, even as an adult. It's like that's more important. Just talking to strangers. Oh, wait, this simple stuff, and you're like, oh, maybe, and you don't know how. Like said, somebody woke up today. Like, what if today they like, I'm about to go kill
Exactly.
myself. And but this girl said she likes my shirt. Oh, so maybe tomorrow I could get another compliment.
Exactly.
And you start believing yourself. Like, okay, and that's just that affirmation. Be like, okay, I have a purpose in life. Even it's as simple as a shirt compliment can go a long way.
And it's
Because somebody needed
absolutely,
that.
and every day I try to do something that can change or put a smile on another person's face. And no, I don't post about it. I don't do, because everything is not for the social media. But I also know that there's a higher power, and there's a reason why I'm blessed, because my
Right.
godmother
Right.
had me going to church very early. And I know now that everything I'm doing, and the reason why I'm still successful with the brand, is because somebody else I poured into continues to pour into me with the donation, so that I can continue to pour into other people, other kids. And that's what's
Yes.
important to me, is that as long as I am pouring into someone, whether you're an adult, I had someone text me today and I let her know, you're loved. We're going to get through this. If you need me,
Right.
I'm here. I may not be able to financially take care of you, but I will be on the phone with you and we will cry together, because you're going to get up tomorrow morning and you're going to keep pushing through. You're going to get up the next day
Yes.
and and we're going to keep pushing through, because you have a purpose. God has you. And I'm sorry to talk about God, because I know everybody probably don't, but for me, that's my inspiration. I am here living proof that God is good, and I believe that everything I'm doing is for the purpose. I will share this quick story before we get to the next question. I was bullied as a kid. I was bullied so bad that I didn't understand. Like, people be like, well, if a boy is bothering you or beating you up, he love you. No, he don't. No, he don't.
Right. Now you older.
I'm
that
45
is abuse.
years old now. I know that's not true. Okay.
Right.
I know, and I was bullied. I was bullied for my beautiful lips that now I know are beautiful. I was bullied for my big eyes, now that I know are beautiful. And there's a famous family that got lips like mine. And people are paying whatever they need to pay to have lips like mine. So I should have went and been a lip doctor, because I would be rich. Okay. Oh, so you want lips like mine?
Hello.
Here you go. Like,
exactly.
I didn't understand that, because again, no one was really pouring into me at that age, because maybe they didn't know. Maybe the resources wasn't there. Maybe they couldn't understand. But now that I know, I understand, I'm going to pour, because being bullied leaves you feeling like, dang, like, why nobody like me? I went
and literally they're just hating on you.
I wasn't the popular girl in school. I went to the junior prom with a friend who was friends with all the boys that were going, and he needed someone to go with, so he went with me.
Okay. So that you default.
My senior ball, I went with my brother. I always felt like I didn't fit in, but I had friends. My best friend is still my best friend to this day, and she will tell you that she knew how I was feeling, and she did what she could, and we're still friends to this day because she gets me. I say that to say that when these kids are being bullied, it's because no one, I'm not going to say no one, from the victim's point of view, from the bully's point of view, no one is fed into them. That's why they're bullying people. So for me, for all the girls that attend my program, they know that I love them. They know that I would do anything I can for them. And they know that to a limit, I can help you. But if it involves me having to tell your mom, I am going to do that, because you will wake up tomorrow and you will be successful and you will carry on and you will be an amazing, amazing individual. And then you're going to say, well, Miss Tasha from B.R.A.I.D.S helped me. I sure did, baby, along with your team, along with your village. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's all about it. Takes a village. It takes a village. And this is just, I'm just so happy that this is like a positive group. So it's just like you're being what you never had to these young girls. And it's starting off early. Especially the age group that you have, it starts off early. And once you instill it in them now, that's something that they're going to have forever. Because I'm pretty sure, like, when these kids get older, like, dang, I wish B.R.A.I.D.S was still here. But, you know, you done retired, you done lived your life. And now you're like, okay, like, dang, I wish you was going to B.R.A.I.D.S. And then that can just start them to even do something similar to what you have to keep it going.
Absolutely.
So this is a lifetime thing. Like, then it's time for you to pass the baton. Like,
that's right.
Here, you do that. You do that. Right? So we talk about various topics, right? So I want to switch it up, play this little game, and it's called Ask Miss Tasha, right? So I came up with different scenarios, and we're just gonna see like what would Miss Tasha say. So here's the first scenario: a girl is feeling insecure because she's wearing her natural hair versus wearing weaves like other girls. What advice can you give her? You touched basic on it a little bit, but this is more specific. If she's
wearing her natural hair, I'm gonna ask her, "What are you using?" And she's gonna probably say nothing, or she doesn't know because her mom buys it. And then I'm gonna say, well, where's your mom? And we're gonna talk to her. I'm like, so
Right.
what are you using on her hair? Are you, do you have time to, teach her, whatever? Now, we as moms gonna say, our child don't listen. They don't want to do this. They don't want to do that. But
They might be going. Let her
exactly.
do her own hair at
But
this
me,
point.
me, me, I would ask her if she want my help, and I would probably
Right.
make some time for her. I would probably order some stuff that I use, my kids use to, to get her hair, and then help her with her hair, and then help her come up with a regimen.
Right.
Some people do wash day on Sundays. You know,
Right.
I know my oldest daughter finally figured out how to take care of her natural hair, and it looks amazing. I'm like, dang, I might
Right.
grow my hair out and stuff, you know. But I would
Right.
definitely encourage her, and I would help her, and I will give the resources if it meant finding a local hairdresser that can help her, or if they don't have the money, there's plenty of stuff on the shelf.
Right.
Currently, I'm using micro miracle drops by the Judy and Debrat. I use that. I use that
Oh,
on my
okay.
kids. Um,
Okay.
I use it on my son. I use it on me because a lot of my hair still hasn't
Mm-hmm.
really come back to the way it used to be. So I use the whole line.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay.
and if it's working for me, I'm going to recommend it. So that's what I would do.
Right.
I would help her. I would ask her, what is it she need? I talk
Right.
to her mom. Do you mind, if I help her, if I give her, a routine? This is what you do. You
Right.
wash your hair, you deep condition it. You don't, comb your hair rough when it's dry. You moisturizer in it.
Right.
You wear a
Right.
silk scarf. Like, I'm gonna give you all those tools, and then I'm gonna see how you're doing, and then that's gonna prompt me
Right.
to do another workshop for other girls who haven't come forward.
Right. Yeah. Because then good, my mom was a beautician. So like she always helped me take care of my hair and everything. So now it's like, okay, I pass that on to my daughter. I make sure she has like her good hair. So then it's like she wants to wear her natural
Mhm.
hair out a lot. So I'm like, okay, because before I do the protective styles, especially during school, because it's
Mhm.
more convenient for me. But then when she said, Mommy, can I wear my hair out? Because she see other girls in it. But before she used to compare herself, like, because of course she's going
Yep.
with a mixed diverse. So their hair down there, both they're long and silky. She's like, why is my hair that long? I'm like, trust me, your hair is long. And I always keep up. I'm like, you look so beautiful. You look so like I keep on reassuring her to now the point she just conceited about herself. She get her hair done, she just flipping it all around. She's in the mirror. She wants to do different stuff. I'm like, okay, but I want her to have that confidence now. And then she sees somebody else, she's like, oh my God, your hair is beautiful.
Mhm.
Look at mine. So she waits for the compliment and then they give it to her. So like that's
And I
definitely
think
reassuring.
having the confidence goes a long way. I think that's what's the
Yes.
problem with our natural hair, is that growing up, we weren't told that our natural hair was good hair. It was always, well, you had to be
Mm-hmm.
mixed, or you had to have a perm,
Right.
or you need all
Mm-hmm.
these big curls. No, what I am now
Mm-hmm.
learning is that good hair is the hair you don't have to add any chemicals to it. You can,
Right.
and if you do, by all means, that's what works for you, but it doesn't work for everybody. So if this particular young lady wants
Right.
to work with her natural hair, we're going to work with her natural hair and make sure that she feels confident working it. Hmm.
Right. Naturally. Nice. Next scenario. A high school girl starts dating. She finds herself liking a boy, but he is pressuring her to start doing stuff she's uncomfortable doing. What would you suggest she do?
I think I said this, and I'm going to say it again. If you love yourself enough, and that's where it starts, you love
Mm-hmm.
yourself enough where you're not looking for the love in someone else boyfriend.
Right.
Okay.
Oof.
And even as
Yes.
grown women, we miss that part sometimes. I'll tell you,
Yeah.
I stayed in a relationship because I didn't love myself, not even realizing that this person
Mm-hmm.
had broke me down to what was left of my soul after 6 years.
Yeah.
Okay. When we
Yes.
love ourselves and we pour into ourselves and we are happy with us, not no one else doing it, us,
Mm-hmm.
that boy cannot pressure me to do anything, because
Right.
that's not gonna make me happy. It might make
Right.
you happy, but it ain't gonna make me happy. And then the fact that you're pressuring me, you don't even love me. You're not even allowing me.
Exactly. You just want
You're not
something.
even allowing me to take my time.
Right.
So it goes back to, I
Right.
would say, do you love yourself?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Then why do you feel like he's pressuring you? Because I don't want to do it. Then if you love yourself, you're not going to put yourself in any harm or danger to where you're going to compromise you for someone else. Right?
Right. Right.
And she's going to say, yes. I said, so if he's pressuring you, don't you think that that's not love, right?
Right.
Right. Then what do you think you should do? Leave him alone. Absolutely.
Right. Because sometimes they have the answer. They just need the question.
That's it. Because
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna give you a straight out answer. We're gonna walk through the process, and
Yes.
we're gonna cross all the T's and dot the I's, because you know the answer to
Mm-hmm.
that question. You just need someone else to look at you like this.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's how we get to that. And like I said, love yourself enough to know that if the person love you, they'll wait.
Yeah.
But love yourself enough to know that that's not it,
Mm-hmm.
and it's okay to wait,
Yep.
and it's okay to ask your parents and talk to your parents about it.
Right.
But that's what I would say.
Right.
Love yourself more than he do, and protect you.
Right. Right. Because these men, they just not even men, because they're boys. They just want something just to brag about. With their
Yes.
friends. It's not all cookies and cream when everything is all happy. It's not like the TV shows. Not looking like it's nothing
No,
like that. So
no.
wait, if you go wait. Wait,
Just
I hear
wait.
that people saying, wait till you're
Right.
married. Wait till you're married.
And if you don't get married, it's okay.
You see that? Anyway, wait till you're married. You're like, dang, when am I gonna get married? We 40, 40.
That's
Oh no.
fine. It's better. It's so much easier that when you realize your worth and the love that you have for yourself, how the stuff you won't tolerate.
Yeah.
And I really, and not saying that I would change anything about my life, but I really wish, I really, really wish that the love now that I have for me, I had it years ago, because there's a lot of things that I had to hold myself accountable for the stuff
Mm-hmm.
happening to me.
Right.
And when you start to heal and process things, you have to take
Mm-hmm.
accountability for the things you let happen.
Exactly.
And if we can prevent that from these younger
Mm-hmm.
girls of making choices that they really didn't have to make because they didn't love themselves, or they
Mm-hmm.
weren't confident, or because nobody told them, my mom didn't say she loved me or whatever. No, your mom loved you. She probably didn't say it, but look at her
Right.
actions, right? But even still, as parents, we have to love our kids,
Yeah.
because then you're going to have a situation like that. And
Yes.
then you're going to be mad at her for not coming to you and having a conversation. It starts with us.
Right.
It really starts with
Yeah.
us.
Because it's so funny,
That's
because I'm going to have another webinar. So I'm like, what do I want to have this webinar on? Like, I want to do it. So it's like, I'm like, oh, got it. Topic: raising these millennials, the new generation. And I felt
yes,
like it's so hard.
yes.
And like my daughter is like, she's what, 2016, and it's like, godly Jesus, this is what goes on in kindergarten. Oh no!
Yeah,
But then it's still
yeah,
like the open communication starts from that young, and it's
yep,
not like
yep.
the 90s and 80s. This is a whole
Nope.
different time. These kids are more sensitive. They're more sensible, and they're
Mm-hmm.
more sneaky.
Yep.
So we have to. So that's gonna be my next webinar. That.
I think that is great. Please let me know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think when as parents we get so busy,
Yeah.
and we get in our own feelings, and we're trying to balance
Everything.
everything. Even if you're a two-family household, a two-person household, you're balancing everything where
Mm-hmm.
you don't take the time, or you don't have the time, and it's really on a car ride to school, or if it's getting them ready for bed and rushing them because we got stuff to do. 15 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Matter of fact, 30 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Tawanda know what 30 minutes is. 30
Mm-hmm.
minutes.
Mm-hmm.
30 minutes to listen, and to not, and even for me, to not have that aggressive response. What
Right.
do you mean? What are you talking about?
Right.
Hold on. What did you say? Now, my
Right.
kids say I have selective hearing. That's because they be asking me stuff when I'm doing something.
Right. I'm over here cooking
Asking
dinner,
me the
washing
question
dishes,
when I'm
doing
not.
laundry, and you want to talk to me
Exactly.
about food on Tuesday.
Yes.
Sir, let's get there. I hopefully you get there.
Yes. So I think, that's where it starts. Like, let's have these this communication with our kids.
Definitely.
Let's talk to them. Let's really hear them. I learned that in my child psychology class, and I think that's how I end up with a minor in it, because I had so many questions.
Right.
Like, how do I talk to these kids? How do I understand them? Just listen. Because
Right.
they may not know the right words to say, but if you're listening to them, you're going to figure out what they're trying to say. And that opens the door for constant communication moving forward. So when they're ready to have sex, they're going to come to you.
Right.
If someone is bullying them, they're going to come to you.
Right.
We should never let our kids feel like they cannot come to us.
Yes.
We had them.
Right.
They didn't ask to be here.
Right.
We have these kids, and we should, even for me, I'm speaking for myself as well. We just need to listen.
Right.
30 minutes. 30 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, like, I give my daughter 30 minutes. We be talking for 4 weeks and 2 days. We'll talk and talk and talk. But she's at a point now where I definitely give her the open floor. And she was like, "Mommy, I don't like when you yell at me," or I don't like when Daddy does this. She's very vocal about stuff that she doesn't like, and she's on this new wave where she wants the pancakes on the side and the syrup on the side. She just got it out of nowhere. So one day I forgot that she told me that. And she's like, "Mommy, can I tell you something?" I'm like, "Sure." She's like, "I told you, that I want my syrup on the side and you forgot it." I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Like, I'm going to do it next time." She's like, "It's okay, but can you please do it next time?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
Exactly.
Then her father forgot one time, but she got a different aggression with her dad. She's like, "Dad, I told you I wanted syrup on the side," but that's their relationship. And so it's just like, she said it, so let's respect it. Like, if she don't want something done, we got to respect that.
Because at the end of the day, these are little people with feelings.
Yes.
And
a lot of them.
My oldest daughter said something to me a couple of years ago, and she said, "Mommy, how come when adults say stuff, we're supposed to listen, but when we as kids say stuff, we're told to stay in the child's place?"
Ooh.
What? I was like, I didn't have an answer.
Right. Because that's just something that was instilled in us.
Exactly. And that's when it changed for us. Okay. I'll listen.
Yes.
The conversation is going to be respectful.
Right.
But I'll listen.
Right.
And then we will come to a compromise of how I'm going to respect you and listen to what you have to say. And you're going to respect me and listen to what I have to say. But at the end of the day, we're going to come to a common ground, so you get what you want and I get what I want. Because I still want her to come to me at 30 years old and say, "Mom, I'm having a problem."
Yep.
Okay. You want Tasha or you want Mommy?
Right.
Which one you want? And at the end of the day, we will handle the situation. And I think that is how we can break the generational curses of our kids not having a voice in their home because they're told to stay in the child's place. Because what's going to happen that one time where we're not there and something happens, and we find out 20 years from now that somebody took advantage of our child.
Right.
The first thing we're going to do is start yelling because they didn't say anything.
Right.
But then we got to go back and say,
we never gave them that space to do it.
Exactly.
You just gave me a topic right here. What is a child's place? What is it?
That's right.
Yeah. Now, let me write that down.
Write that down, boo. Write that down.
Because it's so like, oh, you got to stay in the child's space. What is it? What's a child's place?
What is
you gotta
it?
let me know. What's what and who's who?
That's an amazing topic. Yeah, we need that webinar. Everybody put their thumbs up in the comments. Yeah. We need that webinar from Tati.
Yeah. Oh, that was good. See, just talking little things is talk. But let's go on to the next one, right? A girl is now jealous of her friend because she wears the latest fashion and she's wearing hand-me-downs from her older sister. What can you say to this young girl?
Number one, fashion change all the time. Bell-bottoms is coming back in 2023 that we wore back in 1980s. So that's
everything is coming back.
Right. She may not understand that. What I would tell her, make it your own. Make it your own.
Yeah.
Get creative with your stuff because different is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
Every style started from somewhere. Every style. whether it was bell bottoms, whether it was halter tops, where it was the oversized flannel shirts with G. It started from some. Michael Jordan came up with the plan, and now he's selling sneakers. And he
Exactly.
changed sneakers every year because he do something different, and people go out and buy
The
it,
same
right?
sneaker, just the
Same
thin and
sneakers.
just the shoelace is a different
That's
color.
it.
Oh,
The
those are
shoelace is
tied.
different. You take your sister clothes and you make it your own. Now you got a new title. You about to be a fashionista.
Yeah. And even that's a good thing to think about. Cause you didn't even think it, make it your own. And half of these kids wear their bodies out anyway. Make it to a crop top with something on the back. Something
There
you can
you
definitely
go.
do it. Be
There you
creative with
go.
it.
Wear a
But the
nice
dad was on it.
you could make it your own.
Right.
Ask your mom to take you to Walmart. Mom, could we get this color fabric? And if it's a shirt and you don't like, sew something on it, right? You know, iron something on it. Make it your own, because once you make it your own, somebody else can be like, oh girl, where you get that from?
Exactly.
I made it
Right.
myself. You ain't even gotta tell them
Right.
it was hand-me-downs. I made it myself, and it's an original.
Right.
It's an original, and they can't have it. Boom.
Exactly.
That's how you do
Exactly.
that.
And now they're gonna be like, oh, can you make me one?
Again.
Sure, give me the stuff and then I'll do
Exactly.
it. Now look, you
Exactly.
got a business going on.
Exactly. So the girl that is wearing these expensive clothes is like everybody else, but you're different because you ain't hand-me-downs and you made it your own.
Right.
There you go.
And one thing too, because a lot of kids see that, oh, this person's wearing this. But the thing is, it's not like your mom is broke or poor or whatever. She's living within her means.
Right.
And that parent is living within their means where they can afford certain things for their child. But that's how, like this young girl from my Vernon, that's one of the reasons why she got killed, because she wore so nice. Like she wore the designers and everything else. I was like, I can't do it, so now I'm jealous. But it's like, is it worth my life?
Right.
Like,
Right.
so,
Right.
and it's never like, and I feel like as a parent, no, you don't bring your daughter to school and this, right, and that. But it's like, if I can afford it, let me do it. So I feel like the jealousy thing, we have to know how to teach them to balance a little bit. Yes, you might not have that, but guess what? She is lacking the love that you get at home, because now they're buying this stuff to substitute this.
That's
So
it.
we got to look deeper into certain situations, because clothes is not everything.
Right.
You know?
And not only, and as parents, we as the kids, they gotta understand that every household is not the same.
Right.
So it's our job to explain to them, yes, you're wearing hand-me-downs, but you have a refrigerator full of food.
Yes.
You have a nice bedroom. You have lights. You have a cell phone. You have cable or the internet or Netflix or whatever like streaming we're using these days. And then you go on trips. You go out to eat with your family. You are able to take on other things that a child who's wearing expensive clothes might not have.
Right.
So don't compare your household with someone else's, because
Right.
everybody is not the
Right.
same. Everybody's house is not the same. Everybody don't have the same bills. Everybody don't make the same amount of money. So it's important for us that when that situation does happen and these kids start having questions, we have to explain to them from that standpoint. And it's with hopes that other families are doing it too, so that kids are not ending up being bullied, or a person is not ending up dying because her mother decided to buy her nice clothes.
Right.
Like that's bogus to me. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Right.
And that part I would never understand. But we can continue to pour into our kids and getting them to understand certain things, such as every household is different.
Right. It's very important to stress that. Okay. Last but not least, a girl is getting crazy. A girl is getting bullied every day by her classmate, and she is scared to tell the teacher and her parents. But she feels comfortable coming to you. How do you handle this situation?
I'm going to let her know that depending on the outcome of this conversation, I am going to talk to your parents, because it would be unfair to me for me to know, and something happens and they're like, well, if you knew as an adult,
How can
yes,
you tell me?
why you didn't say anything? So I'm going to say to her, let's talk. And then depending on what is said, I'm most likely going to call your parent, or we're going to say, oh, I'll bring you home. Come on, let's go home. Let's go talk to your parents. Because this is important. Because let me tell you something. If something happens to you and I know and your parents didn't know, they're going to come at me and they're going to hate me for the rest of their life because I didn't tell them if something happens to you.
Right.
I need for you to let me tell them. And this goes back to what I said. We have to allow our kids to have a voice in the house so that they feel comfortable coming to us and expressing what is going on in their lives. And if I'm not safe haven, they know I'm going to your mom. And we're going to have this conversation. Because you have plenty of people that love you. We just have to sit down and listen. And then we'll go to the school and find out, what are you guys doing about it?
Exactly.
Why are you guys not, why is the victim being penalized and not the bully? Like that will never make sense to me. Because I don't know the statistics, but I know the suicide rate of these kids are getting lower and lower and lower.
The younger, and there's one, I was like 3 weeks ago, I just mentioned him, he's 14. He was getting bullied by people he thought was his friends. And then he just decided to kill himself. It's like, this is it. And he killed himself. So it's like, wow. But then a celebrity committed suicide because she was getting bullied. But anybody's like, how she's this old, how she getting bullied? It doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
You are a celebrity in a public eye. You can work out one day with just pajamas on, and they are going to chew you alive. Oh, she's celebrity. She's broke. She's dead. She looked like a bum. I'm like, dang, I just can't go to Chinatown to get some food. Why have to be on full blown makeup? Leave me alone. Let me live my life. But and that's something that needs to be instilled in her as well. Like, okay, if I had, if I notice that, I'm not gonna let it roll off. But sometimes it's hard, especially being a public figure, to ignore some of the negative comments. You need to have somebody by your side to be like, hey, you have your best friend. I have my best friend Imani too. And to kids, they were like, oh, they will help you. That's why it's good to have a team and support system around.
And that's why we pour. And I'll keep pouring. But when my cup is empty, I fill my cup up too. Because together, all of us, that one message, that one text, you don't know what that person on the other end is dealing with. And just the other week, I sent my bestie the theme song to the Golden Girls. And it was just random. Like, I was like, oh my God, I really missed like the Golden Girls. And I sent it to her. And she was so appreciative. She was like, you just don't know what you've done. I'm glad to put a smile on your face. You don't never know. Like, you don't ever know. And it's so important. And it starts with us. And that's braids is going, that's what I'm doing. Whether it's once a month, or if a mom reaches out to me and say, my daughter's on, let me speak to her. Put her on the phone. Or I'll be in that town on such and such a day. I'll come by and see how she's doing. And the daily affirmations are important. The box that I gave, to all the girls, and there's 30 affirmations in there. Pick one out every single day. Even if you get the same one, pour into yourself and remind yourself that you're beautiful, that you're smart, that you're loving. Because walking outside in this world,
it's hard. It's tough. And people don't see you as you see you. So you got to go in there and demand your presence, make your presence known. And that's when I want to be like my cousin, all eyes on me. I want to walk in the room and be like, oh my God, she's beautiful. And I'm like, and sometimes you don't even feel it, but it's like, okay, yeah, but I want you to think that. I don't, my confidence might not be that good today, but guess what? You think it is. That's good enough for me.
Exactly. And when I walk out that room, you're going to be like, who that?
Exactly. Yes. Now I made an impact and you didn't even know.
That's right.
You even know you was blessed enough to meet me today. So after you gotta get a little cocky a little bit,
just
like
a little, just a tad bit. Yes.
I'm good. No, so this definitely was a great conversation. So let's conclude a little bit with what is next for braids? Like what's next for you?
Next for me personally is a book. I think it's time. I've been sitting on the transcripts now for 10 years.
Oh my God. What are you waiting for Moses to come put it together? You made an
I
invitation from
wrote
God.
it, and I know it was 10 years because my youngest daughter just turned 13.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe, yeah, she was like 3. Yeah, when I started writing it, because I was in a relationship with someone who was damaging. And I think that's when I started writing it, and I finished it. And I just found the envelope again.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's time.
It is.
But next, that's next for me personally. For the brand,
Mm-hmm.
keep networking.
Right.
I want to use the brand for something broader. I want to use it for the girls to demonstrate their talents.
Right.
For example, if I have a young girl who wants to be a writer, I'm gonna have her, for example, write me a play,
Right.
and then we're gonna put on the play, right?
Right. Yes.
Um, I have a couple of girls in a group who love to
Mm-hmm.
dress. Let's put on a fashion show. You know what
Right.
I mean?
Right.
Let these girls get out. Let these girls use what we are putting into them and
Mm-hmm.
display it.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I want to do. I want them to have a place to pour out into others through their own talents that we continue to support them
Right.
in. That's where I see happening, on top of me continuing to meet up with them virtually or in person, um and getting more money to do more. Next year I would love to take the girls on, the ones that are in high school, on a college tour. I would
Nice.
love to do that for them. um but money and
Of course.
transportation and all that stuff, I would love to do that. The girls that's like in high school,
Mm-hmm.
at least in high school, because I think that's a more appropriate age. And then it will give them, if they're in the ninth grade, they give them a head start. And even
Right.
if they don't want to go to college,
Mm-hmm.
we will put in other resources for them to go to a trade school. Or
Right.
if somebody wants to sell houses, get a realtor in on one of the sessions and talk to them
Right.
about it. So I want to use the platform to open up more doors for young, beautiful, Black, brown, Hispanic
Mm-hmm.
girls who
Right.
might not have the opportunity, who mother might not be able to bring them on a college tour, but
Right.
say, yes, you can take
Yeah.
her and you're responsible for her.
Right.
Okay, because I have a team of women
Mm-hmm.
who, all I have to say is, can y'all? Yes. When?
Yeah.
We'll be there. So
Right.
I have the power behind the women behind me to help me execute what I want to do. But
Right.
that's what's next for braids. That's what's next for me. And I'm just gonna keep going as
Yeah.
long as God has given me everything that He's given me on the inside of me to be successful in this area of my life. I'm gonna keep doing it.
Yes. Keep on. Please keep on doing. This is something that we need. We need. If we don't see you posting for a week, I don't know. We're checking in. What's going on? Like what?
Exactly.
I know you got life hitting you,
Yeah,
but nah, what's going on? We need some updates.
yes,
You know.
absolutely. And life happens, and I I always want to be doing this because you see so much all the time. The adults doing it, they have babes and brunches, they have women getaways, and ladies gonna and meet up with. Why we're not doing this for these little girls?
Right. They need
I was
it too. They go
30.
through life.
I was When I finally ended that relationship with that guy, with the person that I was with, I was 36, 35 years old. And it took me finally realizing that the love that I thought he had for me was not there.
Right.
And I didn't love myself enough to recognize. Now, why did it take all this time? Why am
Right.
I 36 and feeling like that? Don't make sense. You didn't
Right.
notice this whole time?
Right.
No,
No. Right.
because I didn't know.
Right.
No one's, I don't remember. I really don't remember. And I really tried to go into my Rolodex brain. I
Mm-hmm.
really don't remember
Right.
anyone talking about self-care
Right.
or how to love you for who you are and not looking for validation in other
Right.
people. I just don't remember it. And I'm not trying to fault anybody who had any part
Mm-hmm.
of raising me. I just don't think that it was vocalized so much
Right.
to where
And it
we
still didn't.
now know, like
Right.
we know to pass
Right.
it on to our kids. I don't think we did.
Right. I mean, that's good. I'm so happy that you got this program going, and everybody who not joined is a not for profit. So everything that you do with these girls is free. You're just asking for donations. If you do want to pour into this business, I will hope you do. Her Cash App and all her information, I'm going to post it in the comments. But we are concluding with tonight's episode, and this is literally the end of season 1 of my podcast. And I ended it strong with a bang. And Latasha, of course, I just want to give you your flowers. Keep on pushing forward. God has done amazing things with you. How God has spared your life for you to do this for these young girls. And I just keep on going. So I do want to open the floor for you. If you do have anybody that you want to thank, or just, give somebody else their flowers. Like, I want to give you that time.
I appreciate that.
Mhm.
First and foremost, I'm gonna thank God
Right.
for the struggles, for the rainy days, for the confusion, for the misunderstanding, because in return I got clarity, I got peace, I got
Right.
love, I
Right.
got understanding, I got
Mm-hmm.
consistency, I got power, I got everything that God stands for is in me. My godmother gave it to me when she took me in her home. But
Right.
at the time, I couldn't understand. Now
Mm-hmm.
I get it. And I
I get it.
thank God that,
Mm-hmm.
that I'm able to showcase this is what it looks like.
Right. Right.
I
Right.
want to say thank you to Tawanda White and Latoya Dickerson. In 2018, I pitched the idea of B.R.A.I.D.S to them,
Mm-hmm.
and they've been supporting me and supporting me and supporting me. So I thank them and I love them, and they're both on to great things as well.
Mm-hmm.
Just look out for them. Creations by my besties. She's amazing at what she does, and I had the pleasure of working with her to set up an event. And when I tell you, to see the compassion, to see it in her, she's my best friend, but she's like my sister,
Right.
and we're both working to produce something amazing, and I see it.
Right.
Latoya has, I believe she still have her clothing line, but if not, I know it's coming.
Okay.
So we will look out for her. She's on Instagram. I don't remember her information, but I will put it.
Yeah.
As the
Not to
years
cut
went
you off,
on,
but for their information, please send it to me so I can put it on my website.
yep, I definitely will. I will. As the years went on, I have many, 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 many supporters, and I have to read this list because you know how on BET when you forget people
Right.
penalize you. So this is my BET moment. So don't start the music before I'm done. So let me have my BET
Yes, go ahead,
moment.
girl. Go ahead.
So
Give them
my
their flowers.
supporters are Darcy, Shania, Shajane, Danae, Kia, my sister who is no longer with us, Nakia, um, Margarita, Mika, my beautiful godmother, Mrs. Jackson. I love her with all of my soul. My
Mm-hmm.
mama Kelly, she's my bonus mom who I met working with, and she's such a supporter. To co-workers, Stephanie and Chevelle, my auntie Joyce, my auntie Pam, um, that I love. My auntie Pam, she's bomb, yo. She's bomb. Like she gets me and she supports me 100%.
Right.
She's always asking me if I need anything, reaching out and stuff. So I love her for that. My aunt Joyce, the same thing. My cousin Sequoia, my niece Diamond, Adriana, Margaret, Taisha, Tati, of course, and all the women-owned Black businesses that support me. Thank you. We are all at this table together. We are all breaking barriers and doing what we love. Keep posting. Someone is watching. I truly love and respect all of you. And Tati, what you've done is exactly what we need. You're the first person who asked me to do this.
Oh, wow.
No one has ever reached out and said, Tasha, do you want to talk about nothing? And I'm not holding anybody's fault, but what you
Right.
have done, you have opened the door, and um you have opened the door and set the tone for me to break out of my shell, to have to talk about my brand,
Right.
because now I feel like I'm a CEO.
Right.
And
You
some of
are.
the girls watching is gonna, they know I would never say, oh yeah, I'm a boss,
Mm-hmm.
because I felt like I was like, I didn't want to be overconfident.
Mm-hmm.
But this now, doing this, I'm like, yes,
Mm-hmm.
I'm a boss, because another boss
Right.
said, we're
Thank
going
you.
to get you out there
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to talk about your program.
Yes.
And another young lady by the name Nikasia Vasquez, I call her Nikki. She has an unapologetic empowered podcast, and she shouts me out too. And I so
Mm-hmm.
appreciate her, because she'll make sure, she'll say, yeah, go to B.R.A.I.D.S. And I'm like, she's really saying my name.
Right.
Like, oh my God. So I am forever, 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 forever grateful for all of you. But Tati, you keep doing exactly what you're doing, because no, we're not, Taraji P. Henson.
Mm-hmm.
No, we're not, Tiny from Escape.
Right.
But you know what? We're going to get to the same level without
Yeah.
even being them,
Yeah.
because we have our own.
Right.
And you are doing this exactly what you're doing right now, pouring into me. I'm pouring into you, and you are doing it to help us get to the next level.
Right.
And if
Yeah.
there were more women who weren't afraid of pulling a seat up to the table and saying, Tasha, sit
Right.
down, Tawanda,
Right.
sit down, Darcy, sit down, because we're doing this
Yeah.
together, the world will be
Yes.
it'll be so much easier
Yes.
to get to where we need to be. There's enough for all of
Everybody.
us. There's enough money
Everybody got to
for
eat.
all of us. There's enough.
Mm-hmm.
We have to do more in celebrating each other. And I love you
Thank
for what
you. I
what
love
you're
you too.
doing. I'm gonna always support you. I'm
Okay.
always gonna support, because it's the right thing to
Mm-hmm.
do. And I thank you for my hour and 24 minutes of fame, because I feel so great and I'm so
Yes,
happy.
I was talking
And I
about your
really hope
program all the time, like
I'm
braids, and
yes,
and it empowered me more, because we talked about it. But just to see the impact that you had on my daughter, I'm like, oh no, everybody got to get a part of this.
yes,
Everybody, like,
yes,
get your kid in there, and it's just a resource that is needed.
yes,
Like my safe place with Tati is
yes,
needed, braids is needed, everything is needed, and it's for, like, as a Black woman, let's hold hands and get to the top together. Like, there's
yes,
no reason why. And my cousin said it the best, and she has her own thing as well, mother, sisters, and daughters. Like, she don't want to be a gatekeeper, and I realized that, like, nobody needs to be a gatekeeper. I could put you on, and we could do the same exact thing, but what we do is always going to be different. I'm going
that's
to be
right.
this person. I'm going to be that person. You want to sell clothing? Shoot, huh? I give you a website. Then we could do this together.
That's right.
Why do we always have to be so different? Because the Caucasian people, let's be real,
That's right.
they hold it down for each other.
That's right.
But then, like that fight in Montgomery, all the Black people's fighting. Like, oh yes, that's
Listen,
Black people, that's Black love, right? Let's keep that same
exactly.
energy for supporting Black-owned
Yes,
businesses.
yes.
Don't
And
ask
and
for
I
that discount.
and I say, I always reference Burger King, McDonald's, and Wendy's.
Mm-hmm.
In Hartford, they're all right next to each other.
Right?
You think either one of them cared about them selling the same thing?
No,
Because
because somebody
in
has one
1 week
better.
I'll go to Burger King, Wendy's, and McDonald's. Okay,
Literally, they all getting my money.
we all bring something to our craft that will
Mm-hmm.
make us stand out. But what's important is that we all support each other.
Right.
I am a non-for-profit. I accept all donations. If you want to buy a pack of pads and ship them to me, they're gonna go to someone in my
Right.
group. Anything you contribute, you can file as a tax deduction.
Right.
I don't do this for money. I do this because I know for a fact that is going to change the life of a young girl who is going to grow up. She is going to do something magnificent. She's going to be the first Black a president. She's
Yep.
going to be a CEO of some company that we didn't think she would ever do. And then she's going to say, when I was younger, there was this lady that had this program.
Yeah.
Because I heard her on a podcast of another Black lady.
Yes. And word of mouth. Word of mouth is the best. What would I say? Word of mouth is the best promotion that you can ever have. The best
Exactly.
advertisement. because it's
Exactly.
real genuine. It's like,
It is.
Jay, because I wear this. I told you I wore it to work. They go, what this means? I'm like, this is my friend Latasha thing. You got a daughter? You got a niece? Because I get, and I put them on. Like,
Yep.
I don't care. Like, put them on. And I'm like, she's based in Connecticut though, but she does a lot of virtual stuff. And
Yes.
that's how you reach everybody. That's why I like
Yep.
my podcast to be live. Everybody tap in. And I have
Yep.
virtual events. Everybody could tap in because I don't want to be limited to just my
That's
area.
it.
Especially,
That's
I
right.
don't go out. So I don't even know
That's right.
nobody. I don't know
That's right.
I don't even know my neighbor. So it's like,
Right.
I want to reach out a different way. And
Yeah.
this is definitely a good conversation. And as I'm closing, guys, I do my announcements. I do have a back to school sale. So I'm doing, of course, my customized notebooks. I started doing 1, 2, and 3 subjects. I like the customized notebooks because my daughter loves to bring home other people's stuff, and now they can't bring home your stuff because it's yours. So you have to bring it back.
Mm-hmm.
She always want to say, "Here, take my notebook." No, it's your face on it. You cannot do it. So that's a perfect way to label. I'm doing something for teachers as well, customized lanyards, and this is what one of them here.
Okay.
And lanyards, teacher bags, cups, and tumblers. It's just a package deal. My friend Ryan, she is a teacher in one of her school districts, and she has a wish list, so I'm going to post it within the comments. It takes a village. So and one thing I can say I love about her teaching skills, she asks the students, like, what is something that you need throughout the day? They was like, can we just have 10 minutes of not doing no work and just have a mental time?
Mm-hmm.
She said, perfect. I'm best teacher of the year at this point, because
Nice.
I wish I can go into camp. Like, I just took a test. I know I failed, so I need to come. I took Spanish 202. Who told me to take Spanish? So
Yes.
now I'm coming to this English classroom, and I get to take a 10-minute break, refresh my brain to go to next period. That's a blessing within disguise. Something that she wish she had, she is doing. So definitely, I'll be putting up her wish list. And of course, you already mentioned September 16th is your I'm on my period workshop.
Yep.
And you want to just tell it again for the people who didn't hear it at the beginning?
It's called I Am on My Period, and it's an in-person workshop that I'll be hosting at a location, and it's free, and mainly we'll go over you're on your period, how you get through the day, how do you take care of yourself, how do you properly bathe yourself, everything you need to get through those couple of days, how do you ask for help discreetly. So please email me at B.R.A.I.D.S and CO 2019@gmail.com if you want to come. If you want your daughter to come, I would prefer to her to be of age if she hasn't gotten her period, but close to it, so that we can there'll be a demonstration, an age appropriate demonstration, exercises, and then they'll go home with some stuff. Moms, you can sit in too if you have questions. You feel like you want to sit in, please do. But that's September 16th. Before I forget, on August 20th, this coming Sunday at Bushnell Park, myself, B.R.A.I.D.S and Co. and Unapologetic Empowered podcast will be hosting a back to school event at Bushnell Park. I almost forgot about that. Please come out. We've worked really hard to bring this to a community that is definitely needed here in Hartford, Connecticut. Any donations, inbox me so I can tell you where to send it. You could use my personal Facebook, which is Latasha Monique, or you can email me at B.R.A.I.D.S and CO 2019@gmail.com, and I could tell you where to send everything. I appreciate it. Y'all don't understand. These girls need it, and it's a benefit to get, to relieve the moms a little bit.
Yes.
I've been a mom. I'm a mom.
I've been a mom.
I understand, and I get it, and I always put myself in your position.
Right.
So thank you. You guys are amazing. Remember, you have everything in you to reach your fullest potential successfully if you apply it.
Yes. That's a good end note. Good. Snap. My season 2 of my Self Pace with Tati will be starting August 30th. And this topic is postpartum depression. And this is a topic that I feel don't get enough attention. It doesn't get enough, we don't get enough education on it. So I'm really starting off with a banger, and
Yes.
it's just gonna go on. It's going to, I'm going to buckle down, get more professional,
Yep.
and I'm self-taught. I know nobody told me, oh, you should do this with a podcast. So I'm
Mhm.
going along and I'm going what's best with me. So you're definitely going to start seeing changes within my podcast. I have different things that's going to be under the umbrella of my safe place with Tati. You already know one of them that I'm still in the works with, but I'm ready to September to put it out there. I'm not going to wait anymore. I'm going to put it out there.
Yep.
Shake the Room. It's going to be an anti-bully thing. I'm starting something with that. So it's going to be good. My website is going to be up to par, a little bit more better, like more structured, but I'm happy for that. And again, I thank you, Latasha, for coming on.
Yes.
And
Thank you.
need more information about her stuff, she's on my website. She's up there, and I'm going to be posting more information within the comments on how to contact you and how to make donations. But thank you, Latasha, again. And
Thank
thank
you,
you guys for
Tati.
tuning in.
Thank you for everybody who watched. Keep following us. We got this. We about to
Yes.
we making this happen.
Right. Good night, guys. Thank you.
Good night. Thank you.